2 months after the ouster of Nicolás Maduro, Venezuela is undergoing a rapid political transition. Last week, President Trump touted the cooperation of acting President Delcy Rodriguez as the U.S. announced it would restore diplomatic relations with Venezuela. The Trump administration has centered its focus on the country's oil potential. CBS News national correspondent Lilia Luciano joins us live from Caracas now. She's following this story. Good morning to you, Lilia. You've been speaking with people there, spending some time. So give us the update. What is the political and social mood in Venezuela right now?
Well, Errol, I've been here for a week now, and it is nothing like what we all expected when we heard first the threats that were coming from President Trump and the White House against Nicolás Maduro, and then the day in the most dramatic way, as we witnessed, seeing it roll out in the hours in the middle of the night when he was captured, brought to the United States where he's still in a prison. We never expected that things would be as calm as they are. I've talked to experts, I've talked to people just on the street, people on both sides of the aisle, people who support Maduro tell me that they, expect that he's going to come back, that they also trust Delcy Rodriguez, who was the vice president of Maduro, a very important, prominent figure within the regime, part of all of the oppression and everything that the people who voted for Edmundo González Urrutia back in 2024, you might remember this is the candidate who ran in 2024 when Maria Corina Machado was banned. All of the structures that were in power, except Nicolás Maduro, and barring a few other officials, they remain in power here. So the people who support Maduro are glad and supportive of Rodriguez. President Trump has now acknowledged Delcy Rodriguez as not just the acting president or interim president, but president of Venezuela, and has praised her work. On the other side of the aisle, you have the people who support Maria Corina Machado and the opposition. Look, these people tell me, including several political prisoners who have been released since the Maduro capture, they tell me that they're patient, that they are preparing for an eventual democracy, but that they understand and they hope that this transition was necessary to kind of keep the peace, but that they hope that the United States, that Secretary Marco Rubio will continue supporting them, that President Trump will continue meeting with Maria Corina Machado, the leader of the opposition, who he met with last Friday, the day before he called Delcy Rodriguez the president of this country, and that the upcoming meetings with the opposition leaders, with Machado and others, will lead to a support that they need to continue strengthening their movement, and that there will be enough pressure for an election, both internally and externally, seeing as that is what has led to the moment where we are, where there is a strong alliance between the U.S. private sector in mining and oil, as you mentioned, and between U.S. officials and Venezuelan officials. It's not wild because things are very calm, but it's the wildest option given all of the scenarios that we had heard from experts leading up to the Maduro capture. And the final thing that the people who support Maduro tell me is, look, this was not an invasion with U.S. troops on the ground or mass bombings or anything of that nature. One of the loyalists of the Maduro militia leaders I talked to here told me the moment the U.S. came in, dozens of people were killed from his inner security circle, but he seems to have surrendered. He's alive. We're still waiting for his return. Doubtful, if you ask U.S. legal experts, that that'll happen.
Eye-opening insight, nonetheless. Lilia Luciano, we appreciate you spending time there with the crew and joining us from Caracas with that update. Lilia, thank you.